tonight I would like to introduce Alcione, who will talk about spirits and its influence in our life, and welcome those that are online. I don't know where, but I hope you enjoy too. And if you have any questions, we can discuss a little bit at the end. We will open up for thoughts and questions as well. So Alcione, please.
Good evening, welcome everybody. So nice to see so many beautiful faces here in this beautiful day. Did everyone notice how blue the sky was? Oakland City, oh my gosh, summertime, so good. Hopefully this influenced us positively and we are here. So tonight, as Larissa said, we're going to talk about spirits influencing our lives, which I have used a lot. This book, a spirits book that I believe everyone knows, everyone that is here.
And we have in the library.
Yeah, and by the way, we just received some new books, so if anyone is interested in buying or even borrowing from library actually, and we have in our bookstores for selling as well, all right? So this book was used as the main base for what we're going to talk here tonight, spirits influence in our life. So let's start with a general definition of influence. What is influence and how we're going to be using here this tonight. So influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone. In other words, if we manage to change someone else's opinion, behavior, or choice, we are influencing someone else. If someone else managed to change our choice, opinion, or behavior, this person is influencing us. And this happens every day in our life, all the time. Not only by people, but by circumstance and environment as well. A sunny day may influence us more positively. People get more motivated, more excited. If it's rainy and cloudy, may influence some people to be sadder or to be not as happy. So, first point is we receive influence all the time from many different sources, and at the same time we influence others. So what are these sources of influence? So let's just give some examples. The first one, of course, is family. Is the one where we start our lives in our family. Therefore, kids are hugely influenced by the parents, brothers, sisters, or whoever look after them. That's why, for us as spiritists, doing the gospel at home is so important, because that's the time when we can influence them positively. Also, evangelization, and that's another one that we start doing that now very soon. We're preparing for it. But we're sure that most of the spiritist parents will take the kids to evangelization so they can learn about Jesus, charity, and spiritism as well. So when we are kids, we receive lots of influence from our family. We still receive influence from our family throughout our life, but when we are kids, that's stronger. The other one is friends. We all have friends, right? Hopefully we all do. And friends, the main part of our life where we receive influence from friends is really our teenager years, where many times people start to fit in a group, start doing that other friends are doing. Can be negative or can be positive. All influence is like this. If it's negative, could be, for example, many people start smoking or drinking alcohol or even using drugs because of friends' influence when they are teenagers. Not only when they are teenagers, but mainly. But could be positive as well. Many people start playing a sport or learning how to play an instrument because of a friend's influence, or even do some charitable work or join a religion. So that would be the other type of source of influence that we all have in our lives. And the third one that we put there is very massively strong in our lives, technology. And its influence, unfortunately, even 2 years old nowadays, look at the iPad, iPhone, and things like that. And as we are aware of it, it's our responsibility to really filter what we use technology for. What are the things we're looking at? is something violent, is something negative, or is something positive. We have control on it, but in a way that's just to show that there's many sources of influence that we have in our life. After knowing this, we could maybe think, all right, so I'm influenced by my family, my friends, technology, so I'm not really responsible for my behavior because my mom influenced me to do that and then I did something wrong, right? Can we think like that? Wrong. We cannot think like that, especially as spiritists. Because if we go to this beautiful book, the Spirit's book, we will find out about free will, that we all have, all spirits, incarnate and discarnate, we all have free will. And therefore, regardless of the influence that we have, we are the ones that choose what to do. We are always the ones responsible for our thoughts, actions, and choice. So Kardec asked the spiritual friends on question 843, has man freedom of action? Since he has freedom of thought, he has freedom of action. Without free will, man would be a machine. So we always choosing our thoughts and our actions, regarding of all the influence that we have in our life. So now we had an idea of which kind of influence we're talking about. And we're going to go to the other parts, components of this lecture, which is spirits, because we're going to talk about spirits' influence in our life. So Kardec asked the spirits on Spirits book, what definition can be given of spirits? Spirits may be defined as the intelligent beings of the creation. We all intelligent. Good to know, right? We spirits, therefore we are intelligent beings. But not only us incarnate are spirits. There are many discarnate spirits right here around us. There are spirits at the mall, at the school, our work, our home, everywhere. Spirits are around us, and they are the intelligent beings of creation. So then Kardec was curious to know, if there are spirits around us, what do they do? Do they look at us? Can they see us? Can they know our secrets? What are they able to do? So then he asked the superior spirits, do spirits see everything that we do? Are they able to do that? And the answer is very straightforward and affirmative. They can do if they choose. Since they are incessantly around you, so we always surrounded by spirits, but practically each spirit sees only those things to which he directs his attention, for he pays no heed to those which do not interest him. So spirits are going to look at things that interest them. One example, if someone was incarnated here in the planet Earth and he used to smoke, for example, after pass away, which person these spirits are going to be interested? The ones that smoke, to be around them, to be near them. It's according to what they are interested. If a spirit used to do charity, have good thoughts, good vibration, is going to be interested to see spirits similar that do the same thing. So that's how it works. So they always around us, and they'll be looking at things that they are interested. If we do an analogy, it's same here. If we like to play sports, we're probably gonna have some friends that play the same sport. If we like to play some instrument, we're gonna do the same, or some dancing. We always are with people that have similar interests. And when we pass away, that doesn't change, that continues. So Kardec also asked if the spirits can see our thoughts. And he asks, can spirits see our most secret thoughts? They often see what you would hide from yourselves. Neither acts nor thoughts can be hidden from them. So they can see us, they can also see our thoughts, mainly via our mental image. Of course, superior spirits will have more power and will be more able to see more clearly our thoughts. Depending on the evolution of the spirits, is not going to be able to see that much, but superior will have way more power to do that. So Kardec was also wondering, if the spirits then see us, are near us according to the interest, what do they think about us? It's almost like they are sitting down, watching a movie, watching our life. What do they think about us? And he asks, what is thought of us by the spirits who are observing us? And the answer is, that depends on the quality of the spirits themselves. Frivolous spirits enjoy the little annoyance they cause you, and laugh at your fits of impatience. So, spirits, imperfect spirits or spirits in evolution, they are happy when we don't do well, because they also don't want to do well yet. They are not on that phase of their evolution. On the other hand, graver, and I did look up, graver means serious spirits or more evolved spirits, pity our imperfections and endeavor to aid you to cure themselves of them. The superior spirits want us to do good. The superior spirits want us to improve. And they are there, they are here with us to help us. So the imperfect spirits, they like when we don't do well. On the other hand, the superior spirits like when we do well, and they want us to do well. So the main question, getting now, putting together influence and spirits and the topic of the night. Do spirits influence our thoughts and our actions? Their influence upon them is greater than you suppose, for it's very often they who direct both. Meaning their influence is really, really big. They can influence our thoughts, they can influence our action a lot. That's why it's so important to be aware of it, to know that this is happening, so we can have some control and use our free will to have more positive influence and less negative influence with time. So, Kardec mentioned two things, thoughts and actions. Usually thoughts come before action. Usually we think first and do something, even though some people might say, I just did, I didn't even think about, but that is an excuse. Even if we thought for a little bit, we always think first and then do something. So therefore, a good way of changing this, having more positive influence and less negative, is to analyze and be aware of our thoughts. And we have many, many thoughts during a day. Does anyone have an idea of how many thoughts we have a day? I had no idea, I had to research. Anyone can take a guess, a wild guess, no problem. How many thoughts from morning until night? How many things we think about throughout the day? Sorry? 2,000? A little
4,000.
bit more.
I think like hundreds of thousands.
It's you closer. You a bit. I had no idea as well, so I had to do a research. But I think it's really interesting because we have between 60,000 and 95,000 thoughts a day. Even right now, watching this lecture, some of you may be thinking, what am I having for dinner when I get home, right? Because we hear, but we think about other things. And what about tomorrow I have that meeting? We're always thinking, always. It's constant. So that means there are many opportunities for the spirits to influence our thoughts. And many opportunities for us to go from negative to positive, to change here and there. So throughout the day, that can change a lot. And it's a great responsibility to be looking after all these thoughts throughout our day. But I thought it was interesting information to have. So, therefore, okay, let me just check. And then we have all these thoughts, and we learned with the spiritual friends, the superior spirits, that spirits can actually influence our thoughts and our actions. But how does this happen? So one way I kind of talk a little bit about, we're going to attract the spirits according to our thoughts and our actions. If we're having positive thoughts, we're attracting spirits that has similar positive thoughts. If we have negative, it will be negative. But especially the actions. If we're thinking about positive, if we do good, for example, we're going to attract spirits that also do good. But let's give like a practical example to make it easier. let's say it's Monday morning, winter time, not summer in Auckland, raining and cold, and our brother wakes up like this. And let's not put the blame only on men, but also our sister wake up like this. Which kind of thoughts this brother and sister are probably having by the way they look, by their attitudes? Everyone can participate. What they thinking or what kind of feelings they are having in that morning? You can be honest, that's okay. Sorry? Not happy with Monday? No, I heard, but I don't want to repeat. Anyone else? What do they look like? What are their thoughts or their feelings?
Angry.
Angry, that's a good one, yeah. What else? Stress, yes. Sometimes we wake up like this, right? If we're very honest, I wake up like this sometimes. That's just the stage that we still are. And so when we wake up like this, for example, we are in a very negative vibration. And then, which kind of spirits will be following then? Which kind of spirits will be following us when we wake up like this? So another analogy we can do is almost like a radio stations. When we are in a negative frequency, we're going to attract spirits that are in the same frequency. Could be of jealousy, selfishness, pride, hate, all in this negativity level. So it's very important, especially in the morning, for us to pray, be grateful for our life, ask our spiritual friends to be with us, because it could be many, many challenges in our day. And if we wake up like this, we can always change to something else. Like this brother. It's very different, right? The way that he looks. Or the sister. So now, what kind of thoughts are they having? Or what kind of feelings they probably having in this morning? Now it's summer, not winter anymore. Gratitude, that's a really good one. What else? What it shows on their attitude? Happiness, I heard that. Thank you, Marcia. So that's a very different station, right? If we're using the radio analogy, that's a different station. It's way more positive, with positive feelings, gratitude, happiness, love. And so this radio could have happiness, as they say, charity, humility, and love. And throughout the day, that will change again. Maybe we wake up really happy and with all the will to do good, and then in the traffic someone comes and cuts us, and we almost have an accident. So we change the radio quickly. We don't even see, but then we change to anger, to frustration. But then, if we are aware, if we know ourselves, we can stop and change again to the positive. So regardless of the influence, it's always our responsibility to change the radio back to the positivity. And we can't blame the traffic or the rain or our boss or our family. At the end of the day, it will be always our responsibility. So Kardec then, so far we understood that there are lots of influence and spirits also can influence us. But then Kardec was curious to know why then God permits that spirits that are imperfect influence us. Why he just lets positive spirits influence us and not the negative? Would be much easier, right? If we only have positive influence. So he asked, why does God permit spirits to incite us to evil? And the answer is, imperfect spirits are used by providence as instruments for trying man's faith and constancy in well-doing. You, being a spirit, must advance in the knowledge of the infinite. It is for this end they are made to pass through the trials of evil in order to attain to goodness. So we need to remember we are in these planets of trial and expiation. Thank you, Larissa. So that means we are going to have challenges pretty much every single day. And these challenges are for us to improve ourselves. they are for us to get better. So that's why God permits that we receive the negative influence. But then the second part of the answer is very beautiful, I think, because explain a little bit further. When you are acted upon by negative influence, it is because you attract imperfect spirits to you by your negative desires. For inferior spirits always come to aid you in doing the evil you desire to do. So when we receive the negative influence, it's because we attract them via our vibration, via our affinity. Because we were in that negative frequency of the radio, we brought them near us. But that part clarifies more. But you also have others about you who will try to influence you for good, which restores the balance and leaves you off your decision. So God permits that we receive the negative influence, but He also sends the positive one as well. And then is our decision. So God, as just and good, He would never do something that would be bad for us in that sense. So there is the negative, but also the positive. In a way, it's something more or less like this. We have the positive and the negative, and that can happen many, many times in our lives. And just to clarify, in Spiritism we don't believe in devil or angel like that, but it's just an image to clarify. But that would be more the negative and the positive. So it's always both near us. And then we decide, because we have our free will. God gave every single spirit, each one of us, our free will, and then we choose. Of course, sometimes it's easier to not choose the good one, because we are so used to do that. We are still spirits in evolution, and we're still very low on the scale of evolution, as we studied in a few weeks ago in the group as well. But we are on the way, we are work in progress, and we're all going to get there. So sometimes Kardec was also wondering that sometimes we're not very sure if the influence is bad or is good. Some situations in our life could be a little bit trickier, a little bit more complicated. So he asked the spirits, how can we ascertain whether a suggested thought comes from a good spirit or from an evil one? Study its quality. Good spirits give only good counsels. It is for you to distinguish between the goods and the bad. So it's for us to decide. And the Spirit's book also say that we all have the divine laws in ourselves, in our conscience. So in a way we know what's right and what's wrong. Sometimes we don't want to admit or recognize, but we do know. And just because our lives, especially lately, is so busy, we just go from one thing to the other, we don't stop to reflect, to meditate on things, and then we just keep doing things. But if we stop, if we're not sure, we can always pray, we can always ask our spiritual guides to help us with the right decision, and that will come to us. So it's really up to us, but we're all able to know what's right, what's wrong, and we're able to make the right decision as well. So, therefore, there are many good, positive influence. For example, there is a rádio, because we talk about Rádio Boa Nova, which has lots of many wonderful programs. YouTube, you can find lectures by Valdo Franco, Raul Teixeira, Haroldo Dutra, and many others, and many other positive messages, not only from spiritists, but everywhere. But it's up to us to decide to choose the positive one. Even nature can give so much positive energy, right? So it's up to us. There are many sources of influence, but we need to go after them, and we need to decide that. And so, yeah, again, I just put some of the radio stations of the vibrations that we have. And really, it's a battle like every day for us to be paying attention, to do our self-knowledge as well, and to know our weaknesses and our qualities. St. Augustine, he gives this beautiful advice for us to, every night before go to sleep, reflect on our day and review our day. Check the things that we did and they were good. Check the things that were not so good and how we can change for the better. And then we can identify what vibration level we were during the day most of the time. And then make a plan and try to wake up happier, more positive, more grateful, and connect to the spiritual friends because they can help us as well. But Kardec was still not happy with the Spirit's explanation. He wanted to know really how we can not be so much influenced by the negativity. So he asked, can we free ourselves from the influence of spirits who incite us to evil? Can we just not have any more negative influence? And the answer is yes. It's a very positive answer. For they only attach themselves to those who attract them by the negative nature of their thoughts and desires. So, if we manage to just stay in the positive station, love, charity, selfless, then we are not going to attract more negativity. Of course, in our level of evolutionary level, it's really hard to do that. And that's not going to be done overnight. Will take some time, will take lots of work, but that's our goal. Our goal is to always have positive thoughts, positive action. Jesus, charity, and doing our best all the time. We are on the way, but we're not there yet. But it's just to say that it's possible that one day we're not going to have any more negative influence. We'll be just positive because we'll reach that level. And just a follow-up from the question, do spirits whose influence is repelled by our will renounce their temptations? So, spirits that are not with us anymore, they're not around us, because if we start, for example, just doing charity, we're going to be boring for them. Why are they going to be looking at us if they don't like it? They don't have any pleasure on looking at someone doing good, so they'll go away. So he's asking, would they go away forever if we just have positivity? And the answer is, what else can they do? Why would they still follow you? When they see that they cannot accomplish their aim, they cannot influence us anymore, they give up the attempt. But they continue to watch for a favorable moment as the cat watches for the mouse. But they could still be just there in the corner influencing other people that in the same vibration level. But again, if we go back to negativity, they may come back to us. So that is how it happened. And now Kardec then wants to know, okay, what can we do then, right? We know that will be some negative influence in our evolutionary level, some positive influence, but what can we do to maybe have more positive and less negative, and that will help with our progress? So he asks, by what means can we neutralize the influence of evil spirits? By doing only what's right. And putting all your trust in God, you repel the influence of inferior spirits and prevent them from obtaining power over you. Take care not to listen to the suggestions of spirits who inspire you with evil thoughts, stir up discord among you, and excite in you evil passions. So by doing only what's right and putting all your trust in God, having faith. Again, we're not there yet, right? It's really hard for us to do what's right every single day, be positive every single day. But again, that's our goal. Always checking with our conscience, with our divine laws, moral laws, and doing what's right. But it's our goal We are going to get there. One day we'll be doing just what's right. It's far away, yes. It will take many, many reincarnations, yes. But we are on the way. We should not call us imperfect spirits, but spirits in evolution. Work in progress. We all work in progress. We are on the way to get there. The faster we can pay attention in ourselves and really be careful with this influence, the faster we're going to go further. But it's really up to us. And it's really, I'm going to read that soon, but it's really a battle that we have with us. It's always with us. There is influence, there is everything, but in the end of the day, it's with us. So I think this summarized really well. An old Cherokee told his grandson, "My son, there is a battle between two wolves inside us all. One is evil, anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. So one is very negative, right? All the negativity. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, humanity, kindness, empathy, and truth." The boy thought about it and asked, "Grandpa, which wolf wins?" Grandpa replied, "Whichever you feed the most." So this battle happens inside us because, sorry, we still have lots of vice, right? We all have jealousy, selfishness, hate, and many others. On the other hand, we all had seeds of love, kindness, selfless, and all the goodness, gratitude. And then most of the time it's a battle. Sometimes gratitude wins, sometimes we're complaining all the time, the other times we're able to forgive. But in some other moments we are not. So it is a battle, it goes up and down. Our vibration level is really good, and then it's negative, it's positive, it's negative. And that's good, that's normal. But it really depends if we want to go faster or slower. And we all are going to get there. But being aware, the important thing is being aware and try to be aware during our day, every time. It's really hard, but it is a practice. It is our will, it's our free will as well that will make us get there. So it's really up to us to choose positivity, to choose charity, happiness, and love, to remember Jesus' lesson. And in doubt, it's always good to remember the very wise advice from Jesus. Don't do to others what you would not like others to do to you. If you're unsure, you can always ask that question. Would I like my brother to do this to me? And if the answer is no, it's probably something wrong. So we can always check with Jesus' teaching, with spiritism. We have lots that we know already. We just need to apply the knowledge and be aware and try to really help ourselves by looking for positive influence. A good book, that is this book, which is really amazing, plus all the others of codification. And we just received some book, but as I said before, but it's always good to remember. And music. There are many music that can be very positive. There are the negative ones, but we can select the positive. Going for a walk, being in the nature, can also bring us positivity. On the other hand, watching things that only bring negative emotions to us with violence, or things that only bring mental images negative, that influence us negatively. So it's our choice, it's our free will, and we should make the most of it. So just to finalize, I always like to play inspirational music, because I think music can help us a lot. And I'm gonna play that song. Some of you probably know, because I played before for the ones that been here for a long time. And after the music, then we're gonna open this space for comments or questions. All right? We're just gonna bring the laptop. little bit loud.
Ó.
Esse aqui é o cabo de...
Ah, tem speaker
Esse
não,
aqui é
né?
o cabo.
Acho que não.
Tocar
Próxima
ali.
vez eu vou lá. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. So there are the lyrics in English because didn't know if anyone. Do you wanna put the lyrics, please? I think we need the cable, Lucas. Please. Hold on. Okay, I'll try first. Let's see. Okay, kind of. Yeah, it's okay. So I forgot to say, I think this music, in my interpretation, is really talking about the spiritual guides that are there looking at us, looking after us. But for them to really help us, we also need to be in the same vibration, and we need to want their help. But they are here, they are there, they are near us, and we should really use this opportunity and let them in our life to help us improve ourselves. So now we just open the space for comments or questions, if anyone wants to say anything, really. Nada.
Since you're talking, about the spirit's influence and, the radio stations, which I really like the idea of thinking about changing the radio stations. That's how I think, from 101 to 92.2, when you have like an angry person in the traffic, it happens every single day. Emmanuel, through the psychography of Francisco Cândido Xavier, has a book which is a little, manual in the spiritual world called Pensamento e Vida, thought and life, which points out everything starts in our thoughts.
Right.
And our thoughts have color, have smell, have shape. So it's a lot more than what we can actually think.
Right.
So the way that we are thinking and feeling, and as a whole, it will totally influence the way we go through the radio stations. So it helps a lot to other people who don't understand, will know very little about spiritism or the doctrine or the teachings, to understand how attunement works. So I just want to say thank you. Very good.
Oh, thank you for your contribution too.
Any other comments, questions, thoughts? Want to share something?
In this regard about the radio stations, there is a YouTube channel called Amigos da Luz. They create short videos, funny videos, real situations, but they always try to bring some teaching about spiritism. And they have a video talking exactly like that. They have the obsessor of radio station. So yeah, like the person gets in the car, tuning that station, gets a little bad, and the person tries to change it. So yeah, it's a perfect comparison.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick comment. Because you said when we wake up, and sometimes we feeling like a little bit sad or a little bit angry or happy. But wherever situation we are, I think it's a duty for us, right, to say thanks for the opportunity to be here one more time. Because as we always talk about incarnation, discarnation, we actually do this every night, and we wake up in the morning and we reincarnate every single morning. So we don't need to wait the death of the body to have this feeling. And as we know that we learn here while incarnated, we should say thanks every morning, because it's a duty for us to pray in the morning, to say thanks for the opportunity of one more day, right?
Thank you, Lucas.
Just thinking even beyond, Lucas, what you said, one thing that I always had in my mind is at night, because you're becoming quite vulnerable, because you're going to learn, your spirit is going to go to learn. Your body is asleep, but your spirit is non-stop. And for me, it's that moment where I really believe you have to clean your thoughts.
Yeah.
You have to review what you've done, and you have to forgive yourself, and just be thankful for what you've gone, what you learned, and kind of prepare your thoughts, prepare your environment, your bedroom. The whole energy space is such a special space to go to sleep and make sure that the good spirits are with you and not the other way around. Otherwise, you may not have such a good night.
Yeah.
So it's before you sleep and when you wake up, how important it is to close and make sure your home and your private space is your home. It is with the good spirits. It is with the good energy. Yeah. Thank you for reminding us of that.
I think
that you said about sleeping. That is a very good example on how the spirits and the thoughts have a lot of effect on our lives. It's if overnight, when we are, like you said, the most vulnerable, it's pretty clear that sometimes what bother you the whole day, you're gonna go through that in your dreams, and your thoughts are so troubled that you're gonna have nightmares or keep thinking. How many times we dream about, oh, we had an issue at work and we still can't sleep well, dream about that. Or sometimes the other way around, something very nice that happened through the day and you sleep you feel very revigorated in the morning. Sometimes cannot quite remember why, but the beginning with the pictures and the 7 a.m. Getting smoke out of his ears made me think of that. Sometimes we start the day already thinking like, oh, this is not good, this is going to be a horrible day. So it's the mindset that makes the day horrible, isn't it? If we start the day with and tune in on the right station and say, oh, this happened, but things happen, and today I'm decided to have a good day. Most of the time we accomplish. So if we have the practice of facing the day with the right attitude, the things that come our way are possibly going to be on the same vibration. But it's also up to us. The way we face the challenges is more important than the challenge itself. So I've also thought about sometimes in our lives we think like, oh my God, when a bad thing happens, everything comes at once. And it is a matter of actually changing the vibration. It's the same as like you're in the ocean and you're swimming, and then suddenly you feel you're trapped and you cannot leave, and the instinct is keep swimming and I cannot drown. But you actually have to come down, stop, and swim to the side and get out of the current. So in our lives it's so hard to actually stop, come down, and get out of the current, get out of the eye of the hurricane, that we just keep receiving the bad energy and keep emanating more of this strangled energy and cannot get out of it. So it is very important to stop, so most of the time pray on it, meditate on it, and suddenly things start to clear, the sky is blue again, and oh, actually now things are turning around. I don't know why, but it's actually turning around. So it's mostly on the energy that we're putting out there.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
One more thing.
Yeah.
Watch and pray.
Watch and pray.
Exactly. Good one, Renata.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you very much, people. Till the next lecture, and put questions on the page if you have any.
Oh, I forgot.
It's quite interesting, isn't it?